Alright, starting the podcast in. Oh shit. It don't matter. Starting the podcast in 3, 2, 1.
What's up? It's your boy Ruben Hood Alco Hero, aka Ruben Gutierrez, and I have my first and special host here.
What's up, guys? I'm Anthony, aka Antvizion, aka Nipple Ninja, aka Chino Monster.
You already know them League of Legends days.
Oh, I already know. I'm here with my boy Ruben, being his first guest on his podcast.
Yeah, this
Jargon
is.
Podcast.
You already know this is hype as fuck. So Anthony, I just wanted to know a little bit about your childhood. Like, what is it? What is something that or like a memory that you have from your childhood that kind of makes you who you are today or shaped you in any way?
Being an Asian, I was very influenced by a lot of Asian culture.
Yeah.
So as stereotypical as it was, so anything with like Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee, Jet Li, like I was a big fan of them growing up. So it was one of the reasons why I got into martial arts. So that's kind of like what started, my story, so to speak.
Yo, that's what's up, bro. Rush Hour.
Yes.
Rush Hour 2 is that hype, dude.
Bro, Rush Hour
Jackie
was the
Chan
shit.
and Chris Tucker, they just went off. It's like the perfect comedy duo team of just like straight action and straight hype.
Honestly, like I did not understand anything about racism because of that movie. You know? The black people and the Asian people got along. Like I didn't understand what was going on. But yeah, that movie was really good. I got into martial arts for maybe 7, 8 years. So from when I was like 5 till I was 13. So shit, like 8 years. I was a 2nd degree black belt.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah, I was doing a lot for my martial arts program. I was like that poster child that actually had me outside their the facility.
Oh my god, that's awesome,
They put me
dude.
on the walls and stuff like that. I was slaving for them.
That's what's up, bro. I did karate for a little bit from like around the same age. I think like from 7 to like 14. I made it to purple senior, so yeah, favorite
yeah.
color, so that counts for something. Other than that, I had a lot of fun with it. There are only some couple things, there are techniques that I remember, but it was definitely a lot of fun. Probably like a little bit more casual too.
Yeah, I don't know about much. I don't remember a lot of like the forms and technique, but what I took away from it was like discipline, respect. Some of the self-defense, because it's kind of what started my MMA kind of thing too. Because on Friday nights they did sparring night, so
Oh shit.
I would go to that a lot, and we would practice grappling as well as sparring each other. So kind of, I touched into that because when I stopped doing martial arts, my cousin was also big into MMA and stuff like that. So he kind of taught me a little bit, but I didn't really get into it as much. But it was definitely like really cool.
Yeah, that's what's up, bro. That sportsmanship aspect, like always being like able to connect with others. And for instance, one day I went to a tournament one time and I got 3rd place in the tournament essentially out of 3 people. So
True.
So it was like
30% chance, dog.
Yeah, exactly. So I didn't do as well as the others, but I think we were all friends.
Mm-hmm.
And even though I got 3rd place, it was actually really hype because we were all like, we hung out after and we were just chilling together. We all got our trophies.
Yeah.
And it was more about like our growth and our path that we were taking inside the martial arts, because we were essentially the top 3 kids at the school. And then we had a competition against each other. You know what I'm saying? So it was a lot of fun, and that competition kind of made it seem like, all right, cool. So even though I may not be the best, I'm doing the best that I can,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what's important, just making it happen for yourself, and being confident.
It's a lot of good people that I've met through martial arts, like where they are now in life. One of my best friends growing up his name is Jonathan Shaffold. Shout out to Jonathan Shaffold.
Whoop whoop.
He's in the army now, doing really good things. He's a really good artist, but like growing up, he was like that childhood prodigy. Like he can do flips, he can do a bunch of acrobatic stuff.
Damn.
After martial arts, I linked up with him in high school. He was like a really good skateboarder. Now he's in the army. He can draw really well. My instructor Robertson. Shout out to Instructor Robertson. He does movies. Well, he's like those background characters. He was in Black Panther. Those like Wakandan people.
Oh snap!
So,
Wakanda
yeah,
forever. Skit.
He Bombay. He Bombay. Yeah, he was one of those guys, and I was
That's
like watching
what's
that. Like I saw Black Panther on Netflix, and I was like watching it, and like they panned by, and I saw his face, and I'm like, yo, I know that person. Paused it, recorded it, put it on Facebook, tagged him, and he's like, yep. And I searched his credits on BD, whatever. Yeah, he has a lot of movie creds. He was in 21 Jump Street. He was in Black Panther. A couple other Marvel movies. But yeah, you know, he was just like those stunt people. He's like a stunt coordinator as well.
Yo, that's what's up.
Yeah, it's crazy. Seeing people from your childhood blow up and do like super cool things, like be in movies and stuff like that. So, you know, I was really like always proud to be like, yo, that's my instructor.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what's also dope too. Like the fact that there was another kid from our school, I forget his name, but he went to Colonial and he was on the track team. He's now in the Olympics and stuff like that.
Andres or something.
He represents
Puerto
like that.
Rico.
Yeah, exactly.
He was killing it. Yeah. I don't know Christina Knott. I don't know if you remember her, but she's in the women's Olympic track team as well. But she just broke a record not too long ago. I saw it on Facebook.
Oh,
it's really cool. Like people that you grew up
Orlando
with.
from the O.
Yeah, Orlando made it out.
That's what's up.
But yeah, so after martial arts, I kind of took a liking into breakdancing. I was already like always a dancer. I used to pop and lock before breakdancing. So when I got ninth grade freshman year, I joined the B-boy
I had the shoulder lean, you know what I'm saying? Like
shoulder lean. But yeah,
that's what's up.
So yeah, I have a bunch of like old YouTube videos on my account, youtube.com/Antvizion. You can see my old B-boy videos. I used to do a bunch of like random covers on YouTube with Milton.
Milton Hold'em, the boy.
OG Sunshine.
He's out there doing like a fitness program and stuff like that, trying to help people get super fit. So
shout outs to Milton.
You know, I hope he's doing a handstand or something right now.
Yes, I mean, I went from b-boying and what else? Now I'm into making videos. I do YouTube content. I like to do like food videos, food reviews on places I like to go in Orlando.
Chewy boba.
Chewy boba. But yeah, that's kind of where I am right now. Just trying to pursue film, cinematography, trying to help my friends out too with making videos for his podcast. As long as like other people that do hip hop and beats and stuff like that, I'm trying to make music videos for them as well on my free time.
Yeah, we trying to get everybody like that's local around here to kind of get up on it, get everyone kind of getting their own voice and talking about their story, so we can all kind of connect it. Because what's cool about Orlando is that we're also, it's like such a small connected world here, especially just from our own high school. Like, for example, we just went last night to a Geek Easy, which was hosted by our boy David Gossamer, the boy, the legend, the motherfucking flipper, and everything like that. So he essentially set up the event, and he also performed there too, which was a kind of a double whammy for all of us. And so what was cool about the event was that a lot of the people that we knew showed up to the event to come out to support, and also people that we knew were also performing as well. And the people that were performing had their own squad, and it just kind of shows that we're all like very connected. Mm-hmm. And not just that, we're all just trying to create a strong support group, like a huge web, so that we can kind of give ourselves that bounce and uplift each other. You know what I'm saying? I think it's really great.
Dre was one of the performers last night. He was also a part of my b-boy crew when I was in ninth grade. So shout out to Dre. He's been through a lot.
Drip Dre.
Yeah. It was really cool connecting with people last night. I didn't think to see a lot of the people. I didn't think to see you. I didn't think to see a couple other people. But it was really cool to just connect with people because people are very busy with their lives nowadays, and you don't really get that opportunity to connect with people. So. Shout out to David for creating an environment for people to connect like that, what I'm saying, and to meet new people as well. Especially if you're in that field, trying to do music or trying to make videos or anything. It's just a good place to network and communicate with people and stuff like that. So it was really dope.
Yeah, sure. That's why it's always important to make sure you put yourself out there and try to gain that network for yourself and really reconnect and uphold those relationships you have with others, especially the people important to you, because a lot of times life can always get busy, but we always have a text, a phone call to make 5 minutes of your time to kind of just put it away, to kind of give someone else that extra energy that you got, or just let them know that you're around. And when you rebuild these connections, you kind of have these moments where we're all traveling and going around, and then you get these chances to reconnect after so long. It's like, boom, yo, how you been? What you been up to? And then speaking of relationships, so let's talk about that. It's been a tough year, right? It's been a tough year for all of us.
Sure.
It's so just a more of a I guess serious topic. We want to kind of talk about relationships and just the intimate and personal ones and what they mean to us. So
definitely. Well, a lot of people know I just got out of a really long relationship, 6-7 year relationship, and
kudos.
It took a lot on me, but it made me realize, who was actually in my corner. You know what I'm saying? You grew up with like the last few years, you know, depending your happiness and stability on like one person or one group of people, when it shouldn't have to be that way, you know what I'm saying? So now I'm just trying to focus on forging new relationships, new friendships, but more importantly, like strengthening them, you know what I'm saying? Like not just treating everybody as an acquaintances, you know. Acquaintances are, you know, like so done, like in the past type of thing, you know.
That's now, a coworker.
Now it's just about building, you know, good bonds and good relationships with people, and like, you know, trying to help each other out. Like my friend Ruben here, I haven't seen him in a long time and connected with him in a long time, and we're over here out of nowhere making a podcast, you know what I'm saying? So it's really good to, you know,
which we planned prior to last night. It was just dope seeing each other last night, 'cause it's like that extra, you know what I'm saying? It's that extra credit, you know? Mm-hmm. We're out here putting in that work, and all of a sudden, you know, we got these bonus moments to kind of just get back together and, you know, really see each other for what we want and what we want to do. And so just to give a little intermission to that, how is it, or what is it that your goals are for your YouTube channel? Because you got like your b-boy stuff there, and now that you're like doing a lot of food and stuff like that.
I'm definitely trying to continue to do more food stuff, because growing up in Orlando, I didn't really get the opportunity to go out and try all these places that people have been to before. So now I'm taking this opportunity and as a challenge for myself to, you know, go out and try new places, try new things, and then in the meantime also record and show people the places as well, because, you know, probably a lot of these people never heard of the places that I've gone to, and it's just a good way to show insight on the business as well as how I live my life, and show how I do my vlogs, and, you know, just put it all in one, you know. But that's not what I want to like limit myself to. I want to do more than just food videos. I used to do a lot of skits when I was in middle school, but I'll like do it by myself. I'll just put like a camera. I don't have a tripod back in the day, so I'll like put my camera like on the corner of a table and then record my scene. I'll just walk by the camera, boom, cut, put the camera at a different angle, boom, do the same thing, rinse and repeat. And I have like some crazy videos on YouTube that are very cringy and embarrassing. But
you should definitely watch them.
It definitely grew a lot of character for me, you know what I'm saying? But over time, you know, I just kind of got self-conscious, and I didn't like to post those type of content anymore, because I was kind of worried about what people would, you know, thought about me and shit like that. But that's how it was, you know, growing up, and just being more aware of the things that you're doing and stuff like that. Because as a kid, you know, I didn't give a shit. You know, what I said was just what I said, and you take it how you leave it. But now, you know, I'm trying to like somewhat go back to it, but like in a fine line, like a balance between not giving a fuck about what people think about me, and then, you know, just, you know, doing what you love type of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want to do skits. I want to do like game videos or anything that like is relevant or new. I'm trying to take advantage of it. So like a new iPhone that comes out, I'm trying to get that shit, make, you know, a new video or anything new that comes out. So I'm trying to take advantage of that.
We're gonna have to hit the Apple Store with that one. Like, can we borrow one for a couple hours? Throw you $250 or something.
But yeah, besides that, just work, try to make more money, move out.
That's what's up. That work aspect is really good.
Yeah.
So you're working at Chewy's now, and you were talking to me about the relationship that you have with your boss.
Definitely.
For me personally, I think that type of relationship that you have is like one of the most important aspects of anything when you have a job, especially when you're in the workforce of like, what is it, retail or just food. You really want to have that mentor and that person that you can look up to, not just as a business owner, but as a human being, you know, someone who has qualities and mannerisms that you think are important for someone that wants to succeed. So tell us a little bit more about that.
You definitely want to get like a mentor, or like try to get a mentor on anything that you're doing. So say you're working somewhere, you want to have somebody to teach you things, you know, you want to look up to somebody. So my boss right now, he's a really cool person. He's done a lot with his business and his career, and a lot also his ambitions. So he's a really good videographer in his own right. He does a lot of cinematography. If you've been to Chewy Boba, a lot of the animations and designs, he's done it all by himself. The video, all the graphics, he's, you know, just pretty much him, you know what I'm saying? He has his own production, he has his own stuff, and I'm trying to get on that level. He's also in different businesses. He's also like doing his Turo thing. I don't know if you guys heard of Turo, but basically it's like an Airbnb for cars. So
that sounds dope.
This last year he got like 5 new cars, like a Beamer, you know, like a Porsche. He got a what's that? Supra, the new Toyota Supra.
Damn.
It's just all on his lot, but you know, he's just putting out for rent, and like within a year or two, they basically pay themselves off. You know, the people that rent the cars, they just basically pay it off for him. And then it's like Monopoly. He's just making money, chilling. So yeah,
keep passing go.
I'm trying to get on that level. Yeah, just try to find somebody to learn from and just be close with them, and then they can teach you and put you under their wing and stuff like that. So that's kind of how I'm taking this approach with this opportunity that I'm given right now. So yeah, that's pretty much.
That's what's up, bro. When I was back at Philly, I had kind of a mentor. Mm-hmm. I forget his name. He was one of the first professors that I had. And essentially the whole idea is I was taking classes with him, and I would sit down and come to his office sometimes. And I would just talk to him about like certain aspects of the class. Like the one that I was doing was essentially about social media or just media and communication, stuff like that. And so he had us do a survey one day that was essentially like a 2-week project, and so we had to go survey at least 10 people, see what they thought about the concept of building a stadium right by their hood. Mm-hmm. And just the students just to have the students talk about it and stuff like that. And it was interesting connecting with people that you don't even know and just trying to take that first step and be like, hey, what's up everybody, I just want to do a survey, or like, hey, what's up everybody, I want to do something and I'm trying to see what you guys think about this. Because I know a lot of people don't really feel like their opinion matters and stuff like that. But people forget that a lot of the ways that we figure out what people want and what people want to do is based on surveys and based on people giving that feedback, letting us know what you want, and then us being able to recreate it. You know, and I think that's what's really great about having someone who, for instance, is creating an Airbnb but for cars. He's essentially having an idea that stems from something else and then providing a service to people, you know? And that's really the most important aspect, just providing a service, something that people want, however big or small, and just building upon it, you know?
He's definitely a smart dude. I've also had like a lot of ideas for the business that I wanted to talk to him about, like future opportunities I wanted to create was something like a boba bar. I wanted to do something like that, sort of like a boba food truck or something.
Yeah, but that would be dope.
I told him like, hey, you know,
like a summer thing, you know what I said? Yeah.
Thing. Or, you know, after hours for Chewy, like after we close, now we serve like just an alcoholic menu with like certain drinks, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we open it up.
Boba beer, like.
Sometimes I do some fucking crazy shit. But yeah, you know, that's one of my ideas, trying to be like a little bartender, but for like a boba bar.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Have people come by, play games, because we already have like a game set up at my job. Like a Geeky 2.0 type shit.
Yo, so speaking of games, though, I heard you big in the trading card industry, bro. So what's up with that, boy?
That was like my dark ages. I was really into trading cards. You know, it started with Pokemon, of course. A lot of people grew up on that. You know, my earliest childhood memory with that was that rare Charizard. Everybody probably had that.
Yo, like, you already know from the pack.
Like $100 or $500 Charizard, but you know, everybody had that. And I remember having it, and I just dropped it in my friend's AC vent next door, and we would just look at it every day and just see dust covering it over time. We're just like, damn.
Damn, I feel so bad for that Charizard.
Yeah, it's still there, I think.
All right, let's go outside real quick.
Yeah, right. You should get some money. It went from that to Yu-Gi-Oh! I remember going to the Cumberland Farms at the corner store. Shout out to Cumberland Farms, because you'll never see that again.
But Yu-Gi-Oh! Was that hype.
It was that hype. They had the Yu-Gi-Moto starter deck and the Kaiba starter deck with the Dark Magician and Blue Eyes. I had the Dark Magician, my friend had the Blue Eyes, and that started our love for Yu-Gi-Oh! We play Magic the Gathering. I don't know if you heard of that, but that's a really nerdy game as well.
I haven't actually got to play Magic the Gathering yet, but Yu-Gi-Oh! I was definitely on.
I went to Naruto, the trading card game.
What? Oh my god.
Like, not Shippuden, like the original Naruto. And that shit was dope because...
Best version.
the concept of the game is building teams, the 3-man team. So you put your teams up front, and the lead ninja and the back ninja, and there's a support ninja. And, you know, you do the math, and you fucking battle. And my team was based off of mental power. So whenever you battle, whoever the smart people are wins. So, you know me, I had Shikamaru, one of my favorite characters.
Shikamaru's that.
Hokage was one of the smartest people too.
Oh shit!
So I had like a smart team.
Minato teleporting, fucking Shikamaru holding them down. Like that's what's up.
It was dark days for sure. I'll get you. Then we went back to Yu-Gi-Oh! Took that seriously. We took like the Lynx bus 28 all the way to Castleberry to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And then just recently, my buddy Billy got me back into freaking Pokemon, and we just played for like a month or two, and we fucking quit. So I just got a rare book of like fucking Pokemon cards for no reason. But yeah, I mean, I was a big fan of trading cards just because of the competitive and strategic side of it. I've always liked stuff like that. I was never like a big fan of chess, but you know, I've always.
Yo, chess is awesome. You already know. If you want the hands, let me know.
Oh, boy. Posting on this snap like, yo, anybody want to move? Make a move, dude.
Yeah, I was doing that. That was hype. That whole week of playing chess. So essentially, long story short, I played chess with my what is this?
His followers.
Yeah, with my Snapchat followers, and essentially it took a week for me to beat them, but it was pretty fun. I definitely want to do it again. This time, I guess, more organized. Probably gonna take multiple frames and give people like a couple days just to like give me more feedback to make a move. But yeah, it was pretty fun.
I was like, what the hell? Yeah, that's super crazy. It was cool.
Yeah,
sure. It was like
but
a
it's
cool idea to interact with your audience and stuff like that.
And I think it's really important too, the whole aspect of having that hobby where it kind of gets you mentally going. It builds up that logic skill where you're thinking about things, because these trading card games, a lot of them have like a certain meta. They have like these certain sets where you essentially make a build or you play a certain way, and then you kind of just like essentially snowball or you just become OP. So having games like, for instance, Hearthstone, I don't know if you ever heard of Hearthstone. Hearthstone's a really good game that has like a somewhat balance to it. I think some new cards just got released recently, so there's a bit of OPness as always when when new decks come out. But it's always had like that element of you being able to use what you want and building upon that and having a team for yourself. So it kind of gives you those building blocks to think about the moves that you want to make and having your own setup. And you can think of your deck as like, you know, the playing cards that you want to have on your day-to-day basis. Like, what are the things that you want to do for the day? Do you want to brush your teeth? Eat breakfast?
Make your move.
You know what I'm saying? Do you want to put in that work? Do you feel like you need to take a break today, that you've done enough? You know, there's a lot of things that you can do that kind of stem from having that hobby that lets you be creative and express yourself in your own personal way, because I feel like that helps you develop the person you are versus the person that I guess society deems you to be in that moment.
True. Yeah, definitely. Like, trading cards is very deep. Once you put it that way.
Everybody should get into trading cards.
Yeah, bro. It'll improve your life strategically.
I will say though, playing chess definitely helps, because
Sure.
Nothing is saltier. But I will say also that nothing is saltier than losing in chess in like a couple moves, like against someone who's really good. And it's always a very humbling experience when you play. And so like a lot of the pros do this when essentially when you're playing and you're like halfway through the game, you can essentially see, and it's happened in trading card games too, when you know the decks well enough, like you can see when essentially your doom is about to happen. Yeah, exactly. And sometimes they'll just be like, yo, I'm good. Like, I'll set it down. And it's like, that's humbling, because it's like, you know that you just lost, but rather than play it out, it's like, yo, let's not waste any time. I lost this round. Let's run it back. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That same competitiveness switched over from like card games and chess to like video games as well. So not only that was I like competitive in card games, I was also competitive in video games, fighting games to be specific.
Yo, tell us about that Marvel vs. Capcom 3 tournament, bro.
That was a game that I kind of took very seriously. I was really good at that game, but I took it seriously at a very young age. I should have did it when I was in my prime. Or I wish I was like a little bit older when I played that. Because I was just too scared. I didn't bet on myself. So when I did have the money, I'm like, I shouldn't be going to these big tournaments. But I go to like local tournaments, like shout outs to $5 foot dives was a tournament at a land center. But I would go there almost
just
like
going smack.
And that was, like, I was really good at that. I was top like almost all the time, top 3, top 5. I won that tournament once. The Microsoft tournaments at the CEO, was it CEO? No, MegaCon. Yeah, they had a Microsoft tournament at MegaCon. I won an Xbox 360 there. A free Xbox 360. I won a free Titanfall headset because of that. I was really nasty at my time, dude. But what else did I play? I played Street Fighter as well, but I wasn't that good. I played Smash. I played all the Smash, but I was decent. I wasn't like those motherfuckers that are like, yo, I'm gonna whoop your ass in Smash,
Which is everybody that we know. You know what I'm saying? If you want the hands, let us know. My friend code is 1455. No, I will post my friend code though if y'all do want it.
In the link below.
In the link, you know what I'm saying? Because we all about that Smash Bros out here, And I think that's a lot of fun playing these video games and having that outlet to kind of, I guess for me, video games have always been about like the story and stuff like that, and that's what's really important to me. That's why I love like RPGs and JRPGs, because it's always about telling that story, give some type of insightful experience, or just teaching you something. Like, I know the old Legend of Zelda games. I talked about Majora's Mask last episode. I guess it might be last year. Like,
I guess yeah, no, he's right. He's right.
Oh snap!
But
oh
no, that's the alarm. We're gonna take a she break.
All right, we will be back,
and we'll be back in a second.
You already know. All right.
All right, y'all, and we're back.
We'll scrub the glass first, and then David.
Oh shit!
Hey,
Thank God there was nothing there.
Hey, Happy New Year's, everybody.
Happy New Year's.
Cheers to the new year if you're seeing this in the new one. Cheers to the old you if you've seen it in the past. Either way, cheers to that. You know what I'm saying? Just like last year. So, something interesting that, first of all,
cheers, everybody.
Totally forgot to take a sip. So, in terms of the new year and resolutions and things like that, I think that it's important to remember, at least for me, that resolutions shouldn't be something that you should really strive for. I think you should just pursue the goals that you have in mind and keep yourself on that same track of mind, because I think resolutions put you in a position of an ultimatum. And I think that people, not everyone kind of relates well to an ultimatum, just having to make that final choice, when you could just see it as another choice in your life, taking that next step, making sure that you are moving forward with what you want to do, rather than trying to reignite a flame that may or may not be there. Let's nurture a flame that's already there, and if a resolution works for you, then whatever, not whatever, but if it works for you, it works for you. Just always remember that whatever you want to work on or whatever you want to do into the future, just make sure that it's with the conviction and with the confidence that you will succeed, and not just so that you can see something new in the new year. Make it always about you, but at the same time, make it about something more.
Definitely. Cheers to that, brother.
Cheers to that. These freaking resolutions. And yeah, just going back into video games and stuff. So, like Ocarina of Time, that just taught me a lot about, basically having that courage and really understanding that fear and these things that we see as negative emotions are actually really important to our growth, because if you don't see fear as a strong aspect, then it's essentially you're just being reckless, because you don't have that understanding yet, that next level thought where this is something scary, but I'm still going to do it because there's something more important behind it. There's a goal that I need to reach, and this feeling is only something to let me know that it's important, that I should think about things,
It's definitely a filter.
Yeah.
You're saying fear, it alerts you, it allows you to know your discomforts, your level of discomforts, what bothers you, and what doesn't bother you. If you fear something, then that's something that it can either be obtained or like overcome. Yeah, but just don't let fear dictate who you are. Always strive to conquer those fears.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's okay to be afraid of things, but it's not okay to stay afraid. You know what I'm saying?
It's always better to do something than nothing. There's a famous quote by Teddy Roosevelt that's something goes along the lines of, a man who does nothing, or a man who makes no mistakes doesn't do anything. And that's pretty much to say, like, if you don't take a chance or an opportunity for yourself, then you'll never see anything change. You'll never have those opportunities to learn from your failures, because we all make mistakes and nobody's perfect. So I think that quote is important to remember for yourself. So when you're feeling down and when you're feeling demotivated, it's always nice to have that in the corner of your mind. Or when you're feeling that self-doubt, because having self-doubt is important for yourself, because I think that with a little bit of self-doubt, you have that realization that maybe things might not work out. Let me relook at my plans. Let me do this. And a little bit of self-doubt always helps you push past that next challenge. It gives you that little burst, Obviously, having a lot of it is, not good, but having a little bit of it kind of keeps you grounded in a way,
For sure. Definitely, man.
And so, speaking of games that kind of touched our heart or anything like that, I was talking about Ocarina of Time, but what about you?
The game that I grew up on that kind of affected me a lot was Kingdom Hearts.
Yo, I was thinking the same, bro.
Yeah, definitely, bro.
Cheers to that.
I don't know about the new game now, but definitely Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 definitely affected me a lot more than the new game. Don't get me wrong, the new game is really cool too, but when you're a kid, those Disney elements kind of affected you a lot differently than it does now. Now I'm just kind of like over it. I'm old. It just doesn't make me feel the same. Like the movies that they show, I don't connect very much to it. You know.
Yeah.
I was never a big fan of Frozen, so didn't give a shit about that.
It's not the only one in there, but no, I get you.
I'm still stuck on that world right now, so fuck that shit.
Yeah, that world is kind of a slog to get through in 3. It's definitely amazing. You know, the first 2, they were so built on this idea that you were this kind of kid and you were traveling through worlds and you were helping these people repair it and you were repairing their hearts. And the concepts and everything like that were very like metaphysical, you know, using a key as a weapon, unlocking people's hearts, like understanding people's darkest fears, facing them and overcoming them, and sometimes being overwhelmed by them, where one of your best friends essentially makes a terrible decision and you kind of see that progression into that. And then it's great in the other games because you see, like, for instance, did you ever play Chain of Memories?
Yes.
Chain of Memories was that shit.
The cards, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's going back to the cost.
Yeah.
But yeah, that game was amazing because you were essentially playing as Sora and Riku, his best friend, and they were both going up and down this tower, and in their own way, they were having this self-discovery journey because Sora was essentially having to stay true to himself even. So just to separate myself from that, the whole idea of, do your memories create you, or are you of your own nature? As in, like, if you didn't know anything, would you still be you? And I think that's like a concept that's like crazy to think about and something that he had to go through. And then Riku, on the other hand, his story is all about redemption because he just made a terrible decision and now he's trying to come back from that decision with all that weight and essentially expel it, you know? And I think it's very good to kind of see Riku's character not just accept the darkness that's inside him, but try to understand it. Where near the end of his journey, he kind of thinks to himself and he's like, I know I want to be good, but there's darkness in me, and rather than just get rid of it, I think that I should understand it and embrace both sides of myself, and then whoosh, you know, like he starts going off. And I think that's for me, that's why that game is awesome. And the villains too were really good, you know. Organization 13, I think that's like the first time they actually appear or like start doing stuff and everything like that.
The game is definitely really deep, but just the idea of like fusing different worlds together, like the universes of different movies, and having the idea of all of them in one, you know what I'm saying?
And that Final Fantasy, woo!
There you go. Another game that kind of influenced me a lot when I was a kid was, you know, Pokemon, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, you know, red version, blue version.
Hold up, which one was your starter?
I had blue version. I started with Charmander like a lot.
Yeah, my G. I was about to say, I thought you were going to say Blaster, and I was like, get that bush out of here. Like
Charmander is that OG. I went from that. I remember I traded my blue version for some kid's silver version because he hasn't played blue version. I was like, yo, easy, done deal.
Yeah.
I already beat blue version, and silver version was like that one of the games with the 16 badges.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Silver was a great addition to Pokemon. It doubled up the gym badges. It gave you like an actual compelling villain, you know. Yeah. It kind of gave him their whole arc and stuff like that. It was really good.
It was like that Charizard was like the first Pokemon I kind of grinded to level 94 back in like.
Yeah, back in the day.
OG grind too, you know, just Elite 4 over and over again.
Yo, you know people are salty about Pokemon, the new Pokemon Sword and Shield. I don't know if you've gotten to play it yet, but if you have, it's pretty dope. If you haven't got to, I suggest you try it. They definitely have elements in there that are critical to Pokemon games in general. But yes, it could have been better, as most things.
The mechanics, they made it a lot simpler for people that want to like train their Pokemon, but they don't want to waste the time EV training, and doing all these breeding and IV stuff. I mean, you still have to do it, but they made it a lot more simpler because of hacks and all these like things that you can. They're like exploits that you can take advantage of the game. Like on the Switch, you can change the dates on the Switch to make it seem like the day goes faster in the game, so you can train your Pokemon a lot faster and do a bunch of events and stuff like that. So it's a really cool game. Definitely could be a lot better, but in terms of competitiveness, they made it a lot easier for people to compete.
Oh yeah, most definitely cutting down like the amount of Pokemon, and essentially it's like in Yu-Gi-Oh! They took out Pot of Greed. They took out quite a few cards. I just mentioned Pot of Greed because it's like the most famous one. You know, just the ability to draw 3 cards. You put that in a deck times 3. That's 9 cards. That's pretty much the hand that you need to win. You know, and the way people can mull decks, it's insanity. And mulling just means like essentially like discarding cards to get the cards you want from your deck. and it essentially had the same element for certain Pokemon, especially some of the OP ones. So cutting down on that, and also, so the old recipe for Pokemon was always have your 6 main, so your squad, you know what I'm saying, your main squad using them, and that was like the homies for life. In these newer games, they kind of give you this option to not just recycle or use other Pokemon, but kind of like the TV show or like the Professor Oak status, where you have this Pokemon box full of all these Pokemon that you can use, and you can switch them out depending on the gym to fight. You know, like let's say you have a lot of fire Pokemon and you're about to go to a water gym. Well, you can switch out some of them for some grass, some electric, you know, some steel Pokemon, whatever you want to use. But you have so many options and so many Pokemon that you can use. Like I think before the first gym badge, you have like over 70 Pokemon that you can pick from to have in your team. And that's like insane. You know, in Red and Blue and Silver, you had like what, like 5, 6 Pokemon? Maybe like 20, depending on how big the area was. So
yeah,
it was really
Pokemons and stuff like that. I mean, I used to play Pokemon competitively, so building teams for me wasn't an issue. It was just the time that it took to build them. But
yeah,
you know, when I was like X and Y, I used to work at the airport, and I'd bring my my DS to freaking work and just play at work. But it was really fun building teams.
Gotta get that grind.
You know, the rain dance team, sunny day, like hail team. There's also like teams that just go off of attributes and styles, and that synchronizes with other people. So there's like a Pokemon called Obama Snow, for example, for a hail team. Whenever he comes out, automatically hail. Or like Tyranitar, whenever he comes out, automatic sandstorm. So then you build your team off of the sandstorm ability and stuff like that. Pokemon's with like Sandstream, so whenever there's a sandstorm, they're faster or they evade. So you kind of just have to think about your team and how it shapes up, and then go against other people, what they think or what you think the meta is going to be, and try to build your team around that. I was a geek on that stuff. So
yeah.
Anything strategic, anything that gets your minds racing was like something that I always enjoyed doing. So for sure, that Pokemon was another game that I grew up enjoying. What's another game? What's a childhood game that was like really really fun? Like Crash Bandicoot, not just
Crash Bandicoot was for Jak and Daxter.
Jak and Daxter was really fun, but there was that Crash Bandicoot game that was kind of like a party game. I don't know if you remember it.
I might have played it. I think it was on the PS2. You could play as like the other people in the games. They could play as Crash Bandicoot. I think as girl. You could play as the Tiki dude, and there was like some squirrel person as well.
There was like I remember vividly, but there was like one with the pogo stick.
Yeah, with the boxes and stuff. Yeah,
that shit was so fun. Bro.
Yeah, I used to play it all the time. I was actually one of my cousins that I don't really talk to anymore, Bercy Beth, it's been a minute, but she used to have a PS2, and she used to have that game, so whenever we'd come over, we'd always play, like, the Crash Bandicoot, multiplayer game and stuff like that. It had a different ones. I think it had ones where you could push boxes as well, try to, like, set it up. Mm-hmm. It was a lot of fun.
Pokemon Stadium was another game that I loved growing up.
Yo, Pokemon Stadium. That was my first N64 game. I talked about it a little in my last episode, but essentially, Pokemon Stadium is that hype. Yeah. I never even got to have a game inside of it, so I always use like the preset scenes, but it was still a lot of fun.
I know what you're talking about. Actually, I remember playing like my GBA games on the Nintendo 64 and thinking it was like ahead of its time. Like putting that shit in the back, little cartridge, you put your freaking blue version in, boop, play on the TV.
And then you got your Pokemon in there. Yo, I think the GameCube had that too, where you had like the attachment to play your Game Boy Advance games and stuff like that.
That shit was wild.
Yeah.
Pokemon Coliseum.
Nintendo had that backwards compatibility on deck.
Facts.
From any system.
Nintendo was like ahead of its time back in the day. Like, everybody was talking about like PS4 and Xbox, but Nintendo was doing its thing on the side. People would shit on it, but people will still buy it for what, like Super Smash. The fact that you would buy a console for just one fucking game tells you enough about that fucking game.
Yeah. Like last year, alright, so if you have gotten to play this game, and if you haven't, I suggest you do. God of War, the remake. Holy hell. If there's ever a game that you have to play, that's like maybe even my game of the decade. Like, I'm sorry, but that game is just so good. If you don't play that, then you're missing out on one of the greatest experiences of what it's like to see a man, like just see a man raise his child and do his best. You know what I'm saying? That game is just absolutely amazing in every single way, in storytelling and directing. Like, for me personally, I'm really getting tired of this whole remake phase. We're all just kind of like rehashing every idea that we've had and making it look a little bit better.
That's but this, movies too.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with that. this game was just a perfect remake because it sets everything up in a different world, but you're rebooting the series because you're starting back from, one, and you even have like a lot of those elements intertwined in there subtly until it kind of like snowballs into this epicness of, the finale, which is just great. Have you gotten a chance to play it?
No. Honestly,
bro, next time a chance you get, bro, it is literally one of the best games. There's a reason it got Game of the Year last year, without a doubt.
It's like a movie. I like
yes.
watching. I don't like necessarily playing it, but I like watching people play. I like the gameplays, especially because they make it so cinematic. Cinematic.
Yeah, exactly.
It's very fun to watch.
Every moment was just packed,
Speaking of cinematics, is there any animes that you're watching right now or you're hyped?
So my favorite anime right now, without a doubt, is Beastars. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it, but essentially Beastars takes place it's the same world as us. Have you seen Zootopia?
Mm-hmm.
So essentially Beastars
I've seen what Beastars is, like the people, like the animal people, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Is it like a comedy or no?
So it's essentially like a dark drama. It has like comedy in it, but it's essentially like Zootopia but dark. Like you see like a realer aspect of everything and like the world. The creator, she has a very great way of story building, because in Zootopia you kind of got everything and you kind of understood how some of the societies work, but it didn't really go in depth. It kind of just showed you how animals would be in their own society and stuff like that if they were living, which is cool. But what Beastars does that is dope is that it creates a world that is thriving and like going through their own struggles and going through it like in an individual sense and in a city-wide sense and in a larger sense, the whole society as a whole, because you have this dynamic of predators and preys living together. And it's not like us as humans where, we're humans, we are the alpha predator. We eat everything and we take everything. Yeah. But when you're living in a world where it's literally the demographic is predator prey and living there together, it's that whole idea of segregation, black and white, but on a deeper level. Because you have these characters that have these instincts, and it's all about nature versus nurture. Do your instincts control you, and are you your instincts? Will you always be what you are regardless of what you think? Because now you're seeing animals kind of have a more intelligent demeanor and essentially living our lives but as animals. So overall, it's really dope.
Very deep.
Yeah, it's not one of the action ones that I would be watching. By the way, Fire Force is amazing. That's all you gotta know. It's just fire, fire, fire. Like that Vinland Saga just ended this week, and it's just really good. It's essentially the Game of Thrones of anime in terms of like just deep storytelling, amazing characters, really good. But what about you? What's some of your favorites that you think impacted you, or just that you've been watching recently?
Recently, I've been into Black Clover a lot. It's a really good anime. Everybody loves Black
Clover.
Yeah,
Black Clover is that hype. You already know.
I was actually very skeptical the first few episodes when they first came out. I think it was like only 20 episodes out at the time.
When you was just screaming.
I was just like, what the fuck is this? But yeah, definitely, I got hooked because there was just a lot of action in the show. Like, it wasn't like very stagnant. It'd probably be like an episode or two, and then it would just jump back into like the action.
Non-stop. Non-stop.
Shokugeki
the boy Yukihiro Soma.
Yukihiro, one of my top 5 main characters.
Without a doubt.
Food Wars is one of my favorites. It's crazy how anime is so deep. You get a lot of meaning from animes than like a lot of shows and movies nowadays. Anime has some very intricate storytelling. One of my favorite animes, if not the favorite anime, is Code Geass. I've watched it
Code Geass is really good.
It was almost 10 years ago since I first saw it, but just story writing is really good in the anime. But yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Code Geass was really good. I love the whole aspect of the mechas and his power kind of being influential, and even things happening on the spot that were kind of like, oh damn, I didn't expect that to happen. Like, oh no, like you done a boo boo, like. Went from a plot twist to a goddamn plot destruction.
For sure. Honestly, Code Geass reminded me a lot of chess because they reference chess a lot, and the dude was very good at chess. He's a mastermind. He was the main character, and he was like the hero / villain. Like it was just some crazy shit.
It was definitely that metaphysical fighting against yourself aspect, and like, for sure. And even to the end, all I'll say is that when you're fighting against yourself, ain't nobody winning. Like, that's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. Holy shit, it was a really good one though. What is it? What was your so Food Wars.
Yes.
Going back to that, so because you have like your food channel and everything going on,
they connect.
Yeah.
They intertwine. The reason why I love that show so much is because of how real it is. They talk about real ingredients, real inspirations. A lot of the dishes that they cook is real. They have they mentioned like a Vietnamese dish called the bun sao, and I was like, yo, I love that dish. And he was making a dish inspired off of that, and I'm like, yo. But the anime is really cool just because each character have their own specialty. Like, of course, if you watch any other like anime, a character will have like their own style and stuff like that. But for this anime, it's the same thing applied, but for cooking. So there's one dude that he specializes in Italian cuisine. Another person specializes in Chinese cuisine. Another person specializes in meats. Some other guys like really good at smells. But the main character, his special ability, basically, so to speak, is innovation. So whenever
improv.
Whatever he does.
No, yeah, innovation.
Yeah, basically the same shit. But yeah, he would just improv, make dishes up on the spot. But it's also like inspired off of his diner. It's also like very family based too. So everything that he does is like for his diner, for his name, for his brand, like Yukihira. So everything he's doing is for like his diner back at home. And then he's trying to compete against the other kids in the school, trying to take the number 1 spot. But in the meantime, while doing that, he's like forging connections and relationships with people in the dorms and stuff like that. And then he's learning off of them as well. It's kind of how I want to be in real life, do my own thing, be confident, and innovate new things. But then also meet up with new people and leech and take a few things from what they're doing and try to improve yourself while you're at it. You know what I'm saying? Also helping them improve as well. So that's kind of like what I got off of that show, build relationships and then take key points from what they're doing that you think is working for them and try to apply it to your own life. And that's kind of why he becomes who he is. I don't want to spoil it or anything, but number 1 seat.
Yeah. The boy Soma, he done it.
Yeah, dude. He said like in the first episode he came in and he talked to the whole students in the whole school, and he would talk shit to them because he's like a transfer student, and he was like, yo, I'm gonna be the number 1 seat, you guys watch. And then at the end of the show, at the end of the year,
Nani?
number 1. What? Like
5 seasons.
You put your mind into it, you get to do it, bro. So that's kind of
Exactly.
like how I see it. So I'm very inspired by that character. It doesn't have to be like anybody that's super strong. I don't care about that stuff. You know what I'm saying? This guy, he's just very talented, and that's why I love him.
And also never forget, one of the best aspects about that show is that he teaches essentially all of them how to have fun with cooking, because a lot of them struggle with their own ways and their own type of talents, and they start to eventually get jealous of his special ability. But what's crazy about it is that he opens their mind to the idea that it's not that I'm good, I just don't quit. I'm just always trying new things. I'm always having fun with it. And then once all the other characters start to have fun with it, they start going ham too. Like there's one of the girls that is like really close to him, and she's like very shy, but a very skilled cook.
Megumi.
Yeah, the homegirl. And she, but once she gets over her nervousness, she just starts to skyrocket. She's essentially like, in her own ways, better than him. And that's how a lot of the characters are. It's just all about working on those insecurities that you have within yourself and using those as tools to empower yourself, Like if your behaviors are your, you know what I'm saying? Like your gloves and stuff like that and your clothes, these insecurities that you can think of are kind of like the weapons that you use to forge. And the more you do battle with them, the more you kind of engage with other people and engage in discourse.
Knife,
exactly. You're sharpening your skills.
Craft tool and stuff like that. Like he was mentioning, like how he doesn't give up. There was a part in the show, he goes against his dad a lot, and his dad is the former number 2 seed, so like one of the best chefs in the world, if not the best chef.
He goes around the world pretty much cooking for like the best of the best. So he like is ultra rich and like he's essentially the best chef in the show.
But he doesn't know that his dad was the number 2 seed at the time. And he would battle and train against his dad, and like you were saying, never giving up. He has a record of 0 wins and 489 losses. No, 490 losses now. With the last one. So, speaking of never giving up, Soma is the epitome of never giving up and, conquering every demon that's in front of him besides his dad.
And which is cool too. And why such a big aspect of that show is about like understanding yourself and really enjoying what you love doing is because his dad actually, not essentially like to spoil it, but his dad in the past kind of switched up his lifestyle, because as you're watching the show you're realizing, he's like literally the best chef out of all the characters in the show, why is he just traveling around making food? And it's like he starts to give some of these hints where it's like, yo, when you find a woman that you want to cook for, that's when you'll unlock your true potential. When essentially he's just trying to say, when you find what you're cooking for and why you do it and why you love it, you'll exponentially grow. Because
that applies to everything too.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you find whatever you love and you do it, you'll flourish in whatever you do. Once you find that true meaning, that true passion of why you're doing something, everything will take care of itself. You know what I'm saying? Crash Bash.
Damn, there it is. Crash Bash was that game. Thank you, Dave.
I had that game too, bro. So I was thinking about it. Like, fuck, what was it?
Bro, literally. We got our boy David here. You know what I'm saying? He's the subwoofer man, holding it down. But yeah, so Crash Bash was definitely awesome, and just that whole dynamic of his father kind of realizing for himself that, look, this school shit is just not working out for me. I'm gonna go cook on my own, do my own thing, and really take this journey and take my own steps. And he especially became successful, found his way and like learned how to become more accepting of himself. And so that's why with Soma, he was just happy, like, and even before Soma went to the school, he's telling him, like, look, you don't have to be a chef. Like, that's just what I like to do. This is what I'm about. No, Dad, I want to be a chef. Like, and so he's like, all right, learn. If you want to learn, go ahead and learn. But, like, I'll never tell you to do what I've done. I just want you to follow your own way. Mm-hmm. And that's what's always important about, having that relationship with someone who's older than you and someone who's been through the similar walk as you or knows the path that you're taking, which is why going back to that whole mentorship and just having someone mm-hmm. that, you just have a connection with, that you're close with and that you can work with to kind of build yourself up, and they can also give you those opportunities to grow. Like, I think you were telling me that, your manager kind of gave you a new position and stuff like that.
Yeah, he just blessed me with an opportunity to take that manager position, a shift manager position at my job. Basically run the store, make all the schedules for everybody, and then try to be responsible for other people as well. If they can't make some shifts, then I have to be that guy. But it's like a way to prove to him and to prove to myself that I'm willing to step up to the plate, so to speak. So I'm trying to take advantage of this and prove to him that I can do it, and then hopefully get another opportunity from him, a better position or be more enhanced or in depth with the field that he's doing. I'm just trying to be a part of what he's doing, I guess, so to speak.
And that's good, taking that one step at a time. Like, he's giving you this moment, like, yo, show me that you're about it, because he obviously sees it in you. Yeah. He just wants you to act it out, saying? Spread them wings, and then when you come back down on the descent, he's gonna be like, green.
Yeah, for sure. Exactly. That green.
Green to go,
This decade, this last year has been hell. It's been crazy for me. Reflecting through the past decade, I'm trying to leave that from 2010 to 2019, 2020, I'm trying to leave that behind and then start this new decade off fresh. From 2010 to 2019, I was just, going from a high school student to, who I am now as a college student as well. And from here, from 2020 to 2030, 25 to 35, I'm trying to take that leap to be more responsible, tackle my goals, and do it as efficiently as possible, because time is running, time is ticking.
Yeah.
And don't let that discourage you, and use that as motivation, as just a way to do the things that you always wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? Stop putting boulders in front of you. Just tackle it, break through those obstacles, and that's what these next few years is going to be about for me. And yeah.
That was a great stopping point right there.
For sure.
Yeah. All right. So,
still got a few minutes on the camera, so I feel like we can definitely close this out if you want to close it out.
Okay, so we'll be right back. That was a great point about making things happen and just moving those obstacles out of your way. And, you never have a wall in front of you. It's always speed bumps. Ooh. Yeah. All right, so it's your boy Ruben Hood back.
We are back.
And so I just wanted to touch back up on the whole thing about your relationship that you just had, because you recently just got out of a 7-year relationship, which was very tough. Mm-hmm. And I kind of just want to see your perspective now that you've kind of had some time to reflect on what it means to you to have personal relationship and intimate relationships, and how you kind of want to balance those.
I definitely value my relationships a lot. I mean, I've always valued my relationships, but it means a lot more to me now that I'm growing older. A lot of the friends that you grew up in high school, all these acquaintances, you just find out that, you know, they don't really matter. They're very obsolete. It's cool to know them, you know, obviously have those networks and connections, but to build and strengthen those core relationships with the people that you know is what I am trying to focus on now, and be transparent about what we're trying to accomplish, not just with my friendships, but with future relationships that I get into. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to just let them know who I am, what I'm about, and just be clear about my intentions and my goals, so that there will be no confusions, and one person won't be salty about the things that I'm doing, and vice versa. I won't be salty about what they're doing. We can do our own things and then intertwine at the end of the day and do our own things and connect and be stronger. So that's kind of what I'm trying to focus on this next decade, this next few years, with my relationships and my friends. Just maintaining authentic relationships, you know what I'm saying? Not just the bullshit. Yeah, what are you trying to do? Hang out, smoke, and then what's next after that? Nothing? Okay, I'm gonna just go home. Like, I'm not trying to do that no more. I'm trying to build those relationships. Still smoke, but
gotta keep it real.
But be productive. You know what I'm saying? Like, while we're doing it, what's next? You know, try to do stuff that's productive, but also have fun with it. You know, I don't want it to just feel like it's like a job. You know what I'm saying? Once you start losing the joy in things, you just become unhappy with everything that follows. So always, that's another thing, always finding the joy and maintaining the joy in the things that you do. And then once you do find that you're not enjoying those things anymore, either stop doing those things or fix those feelings and try to go back into it. You know what I'm saying? You can't continue those hobbies and those things while being unhappy, because that's just going to deteriorate your other relationships that are in those fields that you're trying to get into. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I feel now. I definitely want to just strengthen my bonds and not be stagnant with it. Always try to improve and learn new things. That's the goal of 2020, is just always learn new things and always improve. And yeah, so what about you, bro? What's your goals for the 2020?
Yo, so can I vent about my girl real quick? Like,
go for it, bro.
yo,
this is your time.
This is that bullshit. No, I just play.
I mean, everybody goes through it, though. It's not like, if you're always happy in a relationship, that's not a true relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's always ups and downs. There's always things that you guys disagree with. So if you can, like, be transparent, like how we're talking about, like, then everything's clear. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I love my girlfriend.
Yeah, it's just cool.
Oh my god. No, I definitely think that being in a relationship. I'm sorry. I just think that it's definitely important to be in a relationship and maintain those. And for instance, for myself, sorry, I'm just like, I just hit my funny bone. So I just think that it's very important always remembering your relationships with the people important to you, and just, you know, for instance, when you burn those bridges, when you see that raised field, it's like, how do you repair that? What do you do to kind of rebuild those connections? And for me, what I've seen is that the best way to do that is to kind of just take that first step and just show them, like, yeah, this is charred ground, but it's just another chance to regrow. You know, that things may have not worked out before, but hopefully we can make things better now that we've learned. Because when things happen like that, it's not always anyone's fault, really. It's just life kind of getting in the way. And a lot of times we just got to push forward and make sure to keep a positive mindset on where we want to be, so that when we have these relationships kind of fall and change, you can kind of come back to them, pick them back up, and kind of show them that things are a little bit different now. Like, instead of a bridge, maybe a canal, you know? Like, it's always more about creating the best way to reconnect with someone in the time that it is. And that's why, for me, I'm always trying to keep my personal relationships honest and keep my connections that I'm building up true to them. So it's like, if I know someone that doesn't really want to talk a lot, or I know someone that's just like into different things, I won't really bring up certain topics, and I won't really talk about other things that they won't be interested in, unless I want to kind of either have fun with them, or I just think that they might be interested in it. It's always about gauging who you want to be around you and having that web, like we were talking about earlier, but also having that core. Yeah. Because having that core squad is really where it's at. The people that, like, day in and day out, they got your back, they're doing the same things you're doing, and they're working on something. Mm-hmm. And then you have this core squad that is connected to all these other people that are doing their own thing, but they're not like the main focus, you know? Because you have like your vision, and then you have the horizon, which is where we meet. you know, and
Definitely.
yeah, and that's just how I kind of feel about relationships. And so something that's been interesting and pretty much been hitting all of us in our generation is hanging out now versus then. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you think about that?
Definitely now, you know, there's a lot of expectations when you hang out. Obviously
Hella.
we're a lot older, so when people want to hang out now, it's like either it has to be something that benefits them, or else they won't want to hang out with you. Back in the day, if you want to hang out, you hit somebody up and they'll come through and just spend time. You know, it doesn't have to be like, oh, what you doing, or are you guys smoking, or, you know, it doesn't have to be.
Will
like
there
that.
be food?
Yeah, exactly. Will there be food? Any girls there? Like, remember that? Dude? Like, you invite somebody over to a function, like, yo, how many bitches are there? Like, oh no, it's just the homies, bro.
Yo, what's the ratio at? 0-1. What is this? The Matrix, bro? Dude, I'm opting out.
Like, oh, no girls? All right, now I'm just gonna be chilling at home. Like, yeah, fuck you. That's how it used to be, though.
I hit you up to chill. Yeah, back then it used to just be pretty awesome, and I definitely think this is important only because I realized for myself that I was being very toxic with my relationships because I was also doing it to the people that were close to me too. I was thinking about these relationships that I had and these people that were essentially my core group, and whenever they would hit me up, I'd be like, you know, what are we gonna do? Like, are we just gonna chill? Are we just, you know, because if we're just going to chill, I don't really want to do that. It's like I've gotten bored of that.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, I realized now that I should have looked at it in a positive mindset and should have been like, okay, they want to chill because we're homies and, you know, these are people I connect with. And you know, exactly. And I want to do something productive. So why don't we just chill and then do something productive?
And, like, work on it together type of thing. Like, while you guys are hanging out, like, just figure out what you guys want to do.
Exactly.
Just like, oh, you don't know what you want to do? All right, fuck it. You know, we're not hanging out.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. And so,
sure.
and that's why it's important now. Like, as in for any of you, maybe young or older, or however, like, just in case you always have, in case you get hit with those moments of, I don't really want to hang out, kind of make it like a positive experience. Be like, yo, I'm down to hang out. Why don't we try this? Why don't we do this? Yo, I'm down, or I ain't really about it. Then, you know, you can always try a different approach. Or that's, I guess, your opportunity to kind of be like, all right, do I still want to hang? Which is up to you. I'm not going to tell anybody how they should act. I can only tell you how I think I should have acted in those moments back then, and how now I'm always more down to chill with people, and more than anything, I'm down to chill with people, talk to them, and kind of essentially get a better understanding of who they are. Because in that way, we get a better understanding of ourselves, because we see the bits and pieces that connect with us and the bits and pieces that kind of get pushed to the side, and that kind of shows us where these people are in life, you know, where their light shines and where our light shines, and where we connect and kind of build, you know, that room of mirrors. And, you know, we opened up the secret puzzle.
Yeah, bro. Like, speaking of, like, reconnecting with people, I definitely want to reconnect with a lot of people. But, you know, judging the situation how it is now, it's still fresh. Maybe in due time, but, you know, it's never a good idea to hold grudges, you know what I'm saying? But always, like...
Yeah, especially in families,
Yeah,
bro.
especially in
Holy heck.
Like that saying, it's like, you know, never forgive, but never forget.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like how I want to approach things as well.
It's kind of interesting. I was doing some studying the other day, and I was reading up about love and that whole idea, because I feel like there's some times where I've gotten my own emotions mixed up, and I kind of think that I have this love, but then it's like this responsibility, and I think that sometimes our emotions, when they get on a deeper level, kind of start getting mixed in, kind of like how we have the primary color, secondary, and tertiary. You know, these feelings of love kind of can hit in the primary and eventually blend into these deeper things that kind of intertwine with other feelings and emotions that we have for each other. And so the whole idea of love was something that was written in the Bible, and whether you're religious or not, I think it holds true that you should love your enemies, you know, love everyone. And it's not, and to understand that it's not to say like, oh, give them love, you know, like give them hugs and stuff like that. Nah, it's about having that respect and having that essential love for the world, love for life itself. And you have to love the obstacles that are in your way. You have to love the enemies that want to put you down. You have to love the people that want to support you. You have to understand that without these people in your life, you would never change. You'd be the same person, because there'd be nothing pushing you. There would be no
Nothing
resistance.
challenging
Exactly, man. Like imagine you go to those tournaments and there's nobody there.
Yeah.
Playing against the CPU, like I already beat this man's before. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like this is nothing different. But then you have these people and you have these moments and these experiences that kind of intertwine and become that knowledge that you seek and that you have for yourself. And it's always a great feeling to kind of learn more and understand, and also get your butt whooped sometimes, because that brings that heat. That brings that heat. David already know when he want that work.
It's not always good to win, man. Like you were saying,
Yeah.
because like if you go to tournaments and you're always winning, or there's always like a low level competition, and you go to an actual real event with real players, and you get your ass whooped, it's because you were just stagnant. You know what I'm saying? So
You were just a little slower. And what's cool is that other pro players and stuff like that, and people that are good, if you lose against them, most of the time they'll be like, yo, this is what you were doing off. Like, this, like, you can do this to improve and stuff like that. And it's never like a, yo, you just got wrecked, fool, suck these. Like, nah, it's all about, like, promoting growth and getting everybody to be hyped, because it's also very hard to get people into that community, because people take the competitiveness to a personal level. And competitiveness should be something positive.
should be motivation. Like
Exactly.
if I make Ruben better and he's better than me at something, then it will make me want to get better and beat him at that something, and then it'll just keep going back and forth. You know what I'm saying? And that's how somebody will level up at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Sky's the limit. Always believe in yourself. Be confident. You have what it takes to make your dreams come true, no matter what.
So before we close this out, is there anything you want to say to the people? Anything motivational? We've been motivational speaking for the past hour. But I guess a piece that I want to leave to the people is to always believe in yourself. If there's something that I learned this past decade, is just being true to who you are. Don't care about what people think about you, because that will leave you very stagnant. Once you start wondering about what people think, you'll never conquer those dreams that you have. That applies to, for example, like speaking to girls. You know what I'm saying? If you never talk to a girl, never ask her out, you will never get that answer of yes or no. You'll always be wondering, will she say yeah, or does she like me? You know what I'm saying? So never be afraid. Always take that opportunity. Even if you get that no, that's a good stepping stone right there, because you'll never know if you're gonna get that yes or no.
Yeah,
so,
it's always great to put yourself out there.
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely what I would take away from this decade, is just trying to improve, never being afraid of the opportunities that's in front of you, grow your relationships, be true to who you are, and make some money.
Yeah, make that money, no doubt. We need these monies to fund our projects and stuff like that. And more than anything, I think for myself and for all of you that are listening, and for Anthony as well, I just want everyone to kind of have that, that placebo effect in your heart, in your mind. Have that placebo effect of always having that hidden factor, that mysterious thing that is you, pushing you forward to that next step and to that next goal. Because as much as we can be here and try to promote you, we can never be you. And I think that's great, because you have the ability to surpass yourself every single day, every moment. Something that I've learned waking up every day, and just waking up very early and going to bed very late, is that there is not enough time in the day. And I cannot repeat that any harder. There is not enough time in the day. So take these moments that you can and really go forward and become who you want to be. And just know that we're here on the journey with you, and we'll be taking every step of the way with you. So stay up, stay strong, and most of all, stand tall.
And Happy New Year's.
That's true too.
2020. I don't know when you guys are going to see this.
Happy New Year's, everybody. 2020.
Stay prosperous, stay free, stay young, and always stay hungry.
Yeah.
Love you guys.
3.
Doses.
Jargon out. Yeah. Bam, dog. All right. This is awesome.
Knocked it out.
Ooh. That was good.